With the vast, ever-expanding universe around us, the question has hovered over mankind for thousands of years. Capturing the attention of both scientists and hobbyists alike, many search for an answer that may never be found. Are we alone in the universe? Or is there something far out there that may be a little bit like us?
Today on The Search for Life, we will be investigating a topic that many believe to be childish: aliens.
Aliens?
No, not like that. Real-life extraterrestrial beings that may actually be similar to us as humans.
Right, sorry. Our universe is gigantic and constantly expanding. The probability of there being life out there has to be pretty high. But have we ever really tried to make contact with these aliens?
The answer to that question is a little bit more complex than a simple yes or no. Allow us to explain.
Here on Earth, although there are hundreds of different languages throughout our various societies and cultures, all dialects follow the basic rules of how combinations of verbs and nouns strung together.
However, extraterrestrials across the universe could use completely different tactics to form their own languages. For all we know, they could be telepathic.
As a result of this uncertainty, scientists have had to be very creative and precise in their attempts to reach out to these life forms.
But before we can even begin to send messages out into the abyss, it is important to aim these messages where life actually has a chance of existing. This means we must send messages to exoplanets that are found within the Goldilocks zone, not too hot and not too cold. Many space probes, such as the infamous Kepler, have been sent out in search of these potentially life-holding planets.
Once scientists have an idea of where life may actually be, they can begin sending these messages. Let's go back to the 60s, specifically 1962, when the first ever attempt to communicate with other beings was sent out. The message was sent on the Equatorial Planetary Radar to Venus, and using Morse code, the message spelled out MIR, which translates to peace and world in Russian.
Unfortunately, as you may have already guessed, we did not receive a message back. It is well known today that there are no life forms on Venus. Although this lack of response was a little bit of a letdown, humankind was not discouraged. To this day, humans have continued to adapt and try to send many messages out to the cosmos in different forms.
These methods include radio waves, photos, music, AI, scientific examples, and even a map to our location here in the Milky Way galaxy.
Some believe that giving aliens a direct path to our home planet isn't the most intelligent idea. However, the creators of the Golden Record upon the Voyager space probe disagree.
Carried by this 12-inch phonographic golden record is one of the most advanced messages sent from Earth. Not only does it contain sounds and images chosen to represent life on Earth, but it also contains the map to our location.
Etched upon the front of the record are instructions on how the disc is to be played, using binary code and a base hydrogen atom to communicate the numbers.
Further, there are also symbols that describe how the disc is used to display the images it contains, and lastly, it contains a pulsar map to show our location of our solar system in respect to 14 pulsars.
Whether it be a good thing or a bad thing, aliens have yet to show up on our solar doorstep, meaning that no life form has found the message.
Unless they have and simply do not care to visit.
In the mid to late 1900s, with the progression of new technologies, there was a surge of scientific investigation in respect to alien life. Over the years, a collective term was developed for the research being done. The organization was named SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Life.
This organization is responsible for many of the transmissions sent out into space, and it even received what was thought at the time to be the first alien radio signal.
Commonly known as the WOW signal, the radio wave was discovered by Jerry Amen while he was scanning the stars.
He was able to capture a 72-second sequence of radio waves which he believed to be an alien transmission, so he wrote WOW next to the reading, hence the name.
Here on The Search for Life, we have the incredible opportunity to speak with Jerry Amen himself so that he can tell us a little bit more about his discoveries. Mr. Amen, it's an honor to have you here today on The Search for Life. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, thank you for asking. So today I have a couple questions to ask you about your famous WOW signal. Is that alright with you?
Absolutely. Ask away.
Incredible. So, Mr. Amen, how was your WOW signal discovered?
The WOW signal was discovered using Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope, which at the time was pointed at the Sagittarius constellation.
Very cool. So, Mr. Amen, I heard that your signal has been used for over 40 years as proof of extraterrestrial life. Is this still true?
Unfortunately, my signal was proven to be the comets 266 Christensen and 355P Gibbs rather than extraterrestrial life.
That's very unfortunate. I'm very sorry to hear that. Although I did hear that comets are surrounded by big clouds of hydrogen. How exactly does this correlate with your WOW signal?
Well, the WOW signal was discovered at 1420 megahertz, which just happens to be the same frequency as hydrogen in its natural state.
Ah, I see. So, was it you that discovered these two comets, or does the credit for that go to somebody else?
Well, it was actually Professor Antonio Paris and his team that discovered that the comets were in the same vicinity at the time of radio signals, and the radio signals from 266P Christensen were the same as the ones from Wilson.
Ah, I see. That's very interesting. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for joining me today on the Search for Life.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks to Mr. Eamon, it is clear that we have not yet contacted alien life within our universe. However, perhaps we need to stop looking so far out into the future and think more about the past. And by that I mean looking for traces of alien life on bodies right here in our very own solar system.
You're absolutely right. Research shows that the planet Mars could have been home to extraterrestrial life billions of years before life on Earth.
The dusty red planet has remnants of gullies and lake beds that indicate that water may have once flowed throughout the planet.
Further, the now oxygen and heat-lacking thin atmosphere also leads astronomers to believe that the atmosphere deteriorated over time because of a greenhouse gas type effect.
As you may already know, both heat and water are essential factors for life to prosper, which is why the now barren planet appears to not currently contain life.
However, astronomers have now located fossils on the surface of Mars that have a unique chemical makeup that can be produced by bacteria.
All these factors lead us to believe that life on Mars could have been real, but what exactly happened to it?
Well, for starters, the thin atmosphere gives the impression that the possible life forms on Mars experienced a similar global issue to the one we are experiencing today.
According to research, several volcanoes standing at almost 80,000 feet tall erupted constantly with ash, sulfur, and other debris that was shot into the atmosphere for years, contributing to the atmospheric disaster.
The thinned atmosphere led to the cooling of the planet, leaving it the dusty red rock we know today.
So, overall, have we found life in the universe? No.
However, humankind has not given up hope and will continue the search for extraterrestrial life.
Thanks for watching us today on The Search for Life. See you next time!